You ever have those times when everything is going wrong and it seems like the world is against you? Good news. It's all your fault.
What should we do?
Unc will help us.
Welcome back to the Unc Podcast. I'm Unc. Cam couldn't join us this week, but he'll be back next Sunday. I want to give you the cheat code. You are your own worst enemy. That's one thing we all have in common. We sabotage ourselves and don't realize it because we don't want to realize it. We don't want to be wrong. There's two ways to not be wrong. You can pretend you're right, or you can learn from your mistakes and become better in the future. The most important thing is your well-being. If you're not feeling right, you're not going to be thinking right, you're not going to be acting right. Get some fresh air. We all spend way too much time indoors. Way too much time indoors. And the most important thing is air. More important than water, more important than food, more important than sleep. If you go 4 minutes without air, you're done. So if that air that you're taking in all day is never clean, never fresh, what do you think that's going to do for your blood flow? Remember, your blood oxygenates all the cells in your body. Without air, you're not going to be living up to your full potential. The next most important thing on the list is sleep. I think you can live 72 hours without sleep. I'll throw it up on screen. I'm not sure exactly what the number is. But you can go longer without water than you can go without sleep. So that's why it's the next most important thing on the list. It might seem like you're getting ahead of the game not sleeping. You're using those extra hours that you would have been sleeping to get something productive done. No, it doesn't work like that. Because you're not repairing your body. You're not letting your brain rest. You're, again, not living up to your full potential if you're not getting enough sleep. So if you do 10 hours worth of work, but only get 6 hours worth of results, wouldn't it be much better to do 6 hours worth of work and get 10 hours worth of results? Well, that's what happens when you get proper sleep. It should just be normal to get proper sleep. But since everybody in this world, or at least in this country, at least the people that I know, are getting way less sleep than they should be. So just getting the right amount would be like a superpower to them. The screen time is another big one. Pause. Screen time is part of the reason we don't get enough sleep. First of all, you're not producing melatonin in the amounts that you need at the time that you need them because all of the blue light is coming from your screen. On top of that, it's a distraction from sleep itself. You could be dead tired, yawning, eyes drooping. Tell me you won't still sit there scrolling on your phone. Come on. I've done it. We all do it. You'll sit there scrolling yourself to sleep. And at that point, why not just put the phone down and go to bed? They say it's best to keep the phone in another room anyway. Not just so you don't hear it, because even if it's on silent, the phone just being in the room with you, maybe it's the radiation, who knows? But something about that phone being within 10 feet of you when you're trying to sleep, studies show it interrupts your sleep and you never get a real good night's sleep. So make sure you have a proper mattress. Make sure your room is at the right temperature. That's another big thing that'll keep people awake. And if you're sensitive to light, black out your windows. Make sleep a priority. Dedicate some time every night to go to sleep at a reasonable hour. Try to go to sleep the same time every night. More importantly, wake up the same time every morning. Your body likes a routine. and it'll thank you for it. Bad habits. I guess we could also include addictions. But bad habits are another thing that'll just keep on working against you. You're putting in effort in one way or another to do something that works against what it is that you're trying to accomplish. For example, if you're a cigarette smoker, you might think those cigarettes relieve stress. But no, the lack of a cigarette is a cause of stress when you are addicted to nicotine. But they don't do anything for you. They don't serve any purpose. And in fact, depending on what you earn, you could be spending an hour's wages on a pack of cigarettes. So think about what you do for work. Imagine taking a whole hour out of every day that you work and putting that towards your cigarettes. I used to do it. I was a smoker. And even when I quit smoking, I moved on to other forms of nicotine and I was stuck. I was addicted. I could not break free. I needed nicotine all day, constant. Now at this point, since I'm done with nicotine, it cut down on this too. I used to go joint after joint after joint. Now I don't even roll joints anymore. I use dry herb vape and sparing. Focus on your goals. If you focus on all the negative, even if you think you're doing it the right way, even if you're focusing on eliminating the negatives from your life, still, your mind is drawn to the negatives. It's like riding a motorcycle. When you go around a curve, they tell you, look where you want to go, not where you don't want to go. Because where you look is where you're going to end up. And it's the same thing with life. Where you put your focus is where you will wind up. Even if you think your focus is on avoiding what it is that you have on your mind, doesn't matter. That's where you're going to end up. So focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. Focus on where you want to be, not on where you don't want to be. Self-awareness. Self-awareness is crucial. We all have flaws. We all have things about us that cause us to get in our own way. The more you can identify them, find them, and eliminate them from your daily life, the better off you're going to be. So instead of denying responsibility for things, when somebody comes and blames you for something, try to think to yourself, what was my contribution? What could I have done differently? And how can I help to avoid this in the future? That's why I said in the beginning, I have good news. It's all your fault. If it's not your fault, and somebody else or something else is really to blame, then you have no control over the outcome. There's nothing you can do to change things. And that would be horrible. But since it's all your fault, you can actually do something about it. And as cliche as it sounds, today is the first day of the rest of your life. No matter what you've done up until this point, no matter what position you're in, no matter why you're there, none of it matters. Because today you can start something that'll make tomorrow different. No matter what anybody tells you, crime does not pay. Not at all, not ever. There has never been a person in the history of crime that has made a full-time living on crime and not spent a significant amount of time behind bars. Prison and early removal from this earth are the only two guarantees when you're in crime. And it's funny because they tell normal people there's only two guarantees in life: death and taxes. When you're a criminal, taxes gets replaced with prison. But even the criminal organizations, the ones that put up fronts, the ones that have legitimate businesses to filter their money through, the ones that wear suits and ties every day, they still go to prison. It's almost a rite of passage. If you haven't gone to prison, they don't trust you. So let that sink in. The glamour that you see is not really so glamorous. The worst part is that the amount of effort that these people put into their crimes, orchestrating them, covering them up, going to court after being arrested, all the effort they put in and all the brains that they use. Could you imagine what they would have become had they been productive? Someone that's going to be successful is going to be successful regardless. So if that person goes into crime, they're only working against their own best interest and the best interest of society, because eventually they're going to go down. Eventually they're going to go to prison. Eventually the rug is going to get pulled out from under them. But until then, they are going to be a detriment to society because they're doing something negative and they're really good at doing it. So why not put that effort and that brain into curing cancer instead of doctor shopping and selling the pills? Be positive. Positivity goes a long way. No matter what your circumstances are, how you feel about them is the only thing that really matters, at least in the moment. And if you can get yourself to be positive, no matter what's going on around you, you're going to benefit from that. Other people will be drawn to you. People like positivity. People don't like to be around people that complain and sulk and blame other people for their problems. Nobody wants to be around that. So if you stay positive, you're going to increase the pool of people that you have at your disposal. Whether you want to be friends with them or associate with them, that's up to you. But you'll have the opportunity. You won't be one of these people that gets turned away by everybody that you meet. And nobody wants to live that life. The best way to be positive is to have a solid relationship with God. God created us. He put us here. He designed us with a purpose. And just like anything else, if you go against your purpose, you're not going to be satisfied. And our purpose is to have that relationship with the one that created us. So if you enter into that relationship and you trust in him and you call on him, the Lord Jesus Christ, to intervene and to cover you and to get you through all the rough times, everything changes. No matter what you're going through, you always know that on the other side, it's going to work out for you. So I tell you, peoples, it's good news that it's all your fault. Now you can do something about it. And every day is an experience. Every day is an opportunity for growth. Every day that passes is a day that you could have started becoming a better version of you. So make today that day. And if you like this video, please consider subscribing to Let Unc Tell It. We will be back next Sunday with a brand new episode. And this time, my co-host Cam will be there. Be safe out there, everybody.